Big waves in the motherfucking building, man. Y'all already know what time it is. Midday madness in the motherfucking mix. With your host with the most from the East Coast. Big fucking waves, man. Hey, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Um, you know what the crazy part about? Before I even get into everything, man. Shout out to everybody, man. That was in the comment section, man. Shout out to what I'm saying, all of those surfers and everybody out there, man. But before I get into this, man, like. I really don't like having a mindset like I told you so, right? I don't like having that I told you so type of mentality because it doesn't make me feel good when I feel like I've told you so about the Carolina Panthers, right? But this off season, for those that have been watching and followed us, man, when Midday Madness was all in the mix and we was back on, I clearly said that the Panthers needed to go make a move to go and get a veteran corner. That was something that I spoke about, that I talked about all off season long. The Panthers needed to go get somebody to bring in to because we knew this shit was going to happen. We knew Jaycee Horn was going to get injured, man. And big waves in the building. Dylan Brown, what time it is, bro? Appreciate y'all, man, for pulling up to the channel. Y'all already know what time it is. Midday Madness in the mix, man. Tuesday. Listen, we done let the storm kind of calm down a little bit since the debacle that we had on Sunday. And a lot of people are just saying that it was just one game, man. I'm not on the lines of that shit, man. I think that this team is really going to struggle this year. I don't really see the Panthers being a threat this year, right? Like I don't see us being a threat this year. I feel like that we're going to be a football team that is going to need time for everything to come together. And I don't think that this year is the year that we're going to see everything come together. Bryce Young, granted, he's a first round pick. He's going to need some time to develop. But I want to talk about the news that just came out, man, about Jaycee Horn is going to be missing multiple weeks due to a hamstring injury. Now, first off, Jaycee Horn, man, if you're listening, or anybody that's from the Panthers, if you're listening, I don't wish injuries on nobody. I think that it's completely unfair um, to sit up here and say that I thought this was going to happen, and I'm praying for a speedy recovery, bro. I hope that you get yourself back together, man. This has been an unfortunate start to your NFL career. Nobody deserves it. You don't deserve it. So I want that to be out there in the area first because, again, but also, this is a business, right? The NFL is a fucking business. And in a business, you're only as good as your availability. Jaycee Horn has only played and eligible, and I want to make sure that I have the correct numbers here because, again, it's I need to paint this picture for all of the surfers out there of how hurt Jaycee Horn has played. Cornerback Jaycee Horn, who missed 18 games in his first two seasons with injuries, will miss Monday's night game against the New Orleans Saints with an injury. A league source told ESPN Jeremy Fowler that the eighth pick of the 21 draft will be out multiple weeks with the injury suffered in the first half of Sunday's 24-10 loss to the Atlanta Falcons. Horn will likely be replaced with veteran Troy Hill, who, according to coach Frank Wright, played well after Horn went down. Jaycee Horn has missed a total has only played a total of 17 out of 36 eligible games. 17 out of 36 eligible games since we drafted him in 3 years. That is less than an entire full season. That's less than an entire season. How are we supposed to feel about that? Right? Because in what I'm thinking right now, I think it's fair to say that he is a bust. I think it's fair to say that. I think that it's fair to say that he's an injury bust, right? Like I think it's super fair to say that. And for those, before everybody start getting on me, before everybody start waves you fucking crazy, waves you this and waves you that. Shout out to Marco Cash in the building. Marco Cash was good with it, fam. Before everybody start getting on waves ass about shit, let's really put this shit in perspective. We drafted Jaycee Horn with the number 8 overall pick 3 years ago, right? This was the first year, I believe, of Matt Rule's era, and here in Carolina, there were a lot of good players that we could have taken in that draft. Michael Parsons being one of those players, Patrick Surtain being one of those players, and the list goes on, right? Yes, when Jaycee Horn is healthy, he is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. I don't think that's the argument here. But the problem is this man has not been able to stay healthy, right? And to get hurt the very first game of all of the new, this is supposed to be the new regime, the new look Panthers, the experienced coaching staff, the Bryce Young era, all of the hype for this offseason. Shout out to my boy Sergio, man. If y'all didn't know, man, that's my nigga for life, man. I'm going to die for that boy. That is my boy. Shout out to Sergio, man. Y'all already know what time it is. Hey, and he said, I told you, bro, it was a waste of space, gang. He can't stay healthy. You absolutely right, bro. And my thing about it is this. With all of the hype that was surrounding this football team this year, just like the Jets last night losing Aaron Rodgers for the season, the last thing that we fucking wanted to hear was Jaycee Horn is going to be missing any amount of time. That means that he's played 3 seasons in the NFL and has played less than a full season in the NFL. Y'all, say what you want, call me what you want. That man is a injury bust. He's a bust. He has to be a bust. I pray the best for Horn, but from a business perspective, what can we get Horn, 3rd or 4th rounder? And we're going to jump into that topic. I'm going to get into that, what I think that we can, what we're going to get to it. But again, I still want to put an emphasis on the impact this is having on the team, right? Now, remember, you took Jaycee Horn before you took a franchise quarterback. So, you took him before you took a franchise quarterback. And with that being said, he hasn't given you a full season of tape. Jaycee Horn does not have a full season of tape to play. And he was a top 10 pick from 3 years ago. So what do you do now? What's good, Waves? I've been saying that he was a bust. We should have drafted Phil Surtain Parsons. Bro, so what do you do now with him? Now that we know that he's an injury-prone person, he's not going to stay healthy. As much as I wanted to believe, I told you guys this offseason that Jaycee Horn was probably not going to be healthy this year. And that's not me wishing that on him. That wasn't me being negative. That wasn't me being some kind of way. But, bro, once you get the injury bug in the NFL, it is hard for you to get away from. It is hard to get away from the injury bug, bro. And unfortunately, I hate it for him. But we've seen this story all too many times with players in the past. Once these injuries start stacking up, man, listen, and when it rains, it pours, bro. And he can't stay healthy. We will never know the level of Jaycee Horn can actually play at and what he could actually do for us because he's never on the field. And honestly, think about it. He's up for a contract probably in the next year or two. So are you going to pay him? Are you going to pay Jaycee Horn? Does it make sense to pay him? Absolutely not. So what are you going to do? Well, Scott Fitterer, if I was Scott Fitterer right now, I would be on the phone for 2 things. 2 things I would be on the phone for. 2 things. 2 things I would be on the phone for. So I would be on the phone right now trying to fucking figure out what I can get for Jaycee Horn. And what do I think we can get in a good compensation package? I think you can get a 3rd and 4th round pick for him right now. Because there's going to be some team out there that believe that he's going to be able to bounce back, that he's going to be able to get back healthy, that he's going to be able to, be at that level that we need to. And they're going to believe in that. A 3rd and a 4th round pick is probably all you're going to get for Jaycee Horn right now. You're not going to get anything higher for him because he's damaged goods. If we were able to pull off a trade where we can get a 3rd and a 4th round pick for Jaycee Horn, I think Scott Fitterer needs to pull the trigger on that right now. And here's why that makes sense. Number one, you need to recruit some of the picks that you've given away to get Bryce Young in this draft. You don't have a 1st round pick for next year. You don't have it. And you gave up a lot of draft capital to get Bryce Young in this upcoming draft. You gave away a lot, right? So you need to try to recruit some of those draft picks that you gave up for him. So we can't trade injured players, so keep him around until we can trade him. No, I absolutely understand that, but my thing about it is that you need to start putting together trade packages to get him off Carolina books, right? So to me, I'm already on the phone if I'm Scott Fitterer trying to gauge what teams will be willing to give to get Jaycee Horn, right? So you need to recuperate some of the picks. And guys, I'm gonna go ahead and say this too. I know that this may not be a fan favorite idea or people may not like this. I'm trading Brian Burns. I'm trading Brian Burns too. I'm getting rid of Jaycee Horn. I'm getting rid of Brian Burns. I'm getting rid of these guys because think about it, Panther Nation. I know y'all say that this is crazy, this doesn't make sense, but I'm trading both of these guys. Why am I trading them? Brian Burns, he's going to demand a salary of 27, 28 million per year. That's the kind of salary that he wants to get. Nick Bosa got a $175 million contract, 116 guaranteed. That's what he got. Brian Burns is probably going to ask for just as much as that contract. And people say, well, he doesn't have the production. He doesn't have the production. Guys, you know, in today's NFL, the production does not have to match the contract. Long as he shows that he's been consistent, a team is going to pay you whatever you wanted to pay. So, yeah, he hasn't put up Nick Bosa type sack numbers, but he's definitely put up pressures. If you look at the pressures, if you look at tackle for loss, if you look at all of that stuff, Brian Burns has more tackle for loss and pressures than Nick Bosa. He just doesn't have the sack numbers. I think this past year was Brian Burns' first double-digit sack numbers. I'm trading Brian Burns for 2 first-round picks. You need to get the draft capital that you gave up to move to number 1. You need to get back. And why else does that make sense? Because the Panthers are not contending right now. We're not in a position to contend. The Panthers are not. I'm going to keep it 100% with you guys. I would be extremely shocked, extremely shocked with the current state of this Jaycee Horn injury. They say he's out multiple weeks. So multiple weeks could mean a month. Multiple weeks could mean 2 weeks. We don't know. They just said multiple weeks. So why we're not going to be contending for the playoffs this year? I would be completely shocked if the Panthers made the postseason this year. From this team, how it's currently constructed, I do not see this football team making the playoffs. I don't see it. And it's okay. This is the first year of a new regime with a rookie quarterback, new coaching staff. Expectations shouldn't be for the Panthers to be in the playoffs year 1 of this. It's going to take time. They're going to need to this talent is going to need to mesh. They got to add some more pieces. It's not ready yet. This product of the Panthers this year, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. And as a Panther fan, that's what I'm here to bring to you guys. It is going to be a lot of painful games for Carolina to watch this year. A lot of games that are going to be painful to watch. This past Sunday was a painful game to watch. It was extremely painful because honestly, we don't have a lot of threats on the offensive side. We don't have a real weapon that teams have to game plan. Bryce is still a rookie. It's going to take some time to learn the game. He got to pick up to the speed of the game. I don't think that we really see him become the Bryce that I think he'll get better as the season progresses, as he gets more and more comfortable, but he's still a rookie, and everybody has to understand that. He's going to throw interceptions. He's going to make mistakes. We have to live with those because he's a rookie. He's a rookie at the end of the day. You have to live with that shit, right? So it's going to happen. And on top of that, the defense switching to a 3-4, it's going to take time for these guys to get comfortable, for these guys to get used to playing in that, and also for us to get the true personnel that we need to play in a true 3-4 because we don't have an end opposite of Brian Burns, and the cornerback depth is bad. The cornerback depth is bad. And then also think about this. You have contracts that are coming up. Like I'm serious. I'm being completely honest, Uncle Quan. And Quan, I don't know if you're busy right now, bro. I would love for you to pull up. I'm about to drop the link in a little bit, but I want to get your perspectives on this shit too, man. But this team is going to take some time to develop. It's just like, think about We're in a situation of what the Jets were probably 3 seasons ago, right? Where they got their quarterback. They even though their quarterbacks didn't really pan out, but the formula, right? They drafted pieces. They got all of these first round picks, and they got a good coach. We're what a lot of these teams are like. What the Dolphins were about 4 to 5 years ago. We're in that stage of our development. We're not at a point right now where the Panthers are going to come out and just dominate any opponent. We're not at that stage in the process where we're going to be contending for a playoff team. I think that we need to be very, very realistic with where we are as a football organization at this particular point in time. Because to say for all of those people that said this offseason where your win total and prediction was double digits, I don't even understand how you could have made that. I mean, it was a rookie quarterback coming to a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Everything is fresh, and it's going to take times. I think that the playoffs is going to be made. I think the Panthers will be a real contender in that 2025 season. That 2025 season. Like the 2025 season is when we'll really start to see this team take the next step. Because right now, we still need to add more. Like I don't think what we have right now is enough to get us over the edge. And as you can see, our division is not up for grabs. It's all of the teams in the NFC South right now are pretty competitive. Like I'm going to say it, the Saints to me right now have the best defense in the NFC South, and the Falcons' defense is much improved. You can see that. The Falcons' defense showed us on Sunday that it's improved. Them spending all of that money they spent on Jesse Bates, that shit paid the fuck off. They're an improved unit. Desmond Ritter is still suspect, but they have a strong run game. And you can, with a strong run game, you can win a lot of football games in a solid defense. So again, the Panthers are not in a place where we're going to make the playoffs this year. I would be completely shocked. Not saying that it can happen. Anything can happen. But I would be completely shocked if the Panthers were in the postseason this year. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it completely real with everybody. I would be shocked. I think that we need to draft a couple more pieces. I think that we need to add a couple more pieces in free agency. I think that Bryce Young is going to need about 2 to 3 years in this system and Frank Wright's system for him to really catch on and do the things that we want to see out of a first round pick. I just don't see right now this team being ready to compete in this year and maybe not even next year. So I'm about to drop the link, guys, and get whoever want to pull up to the channel. We doing it, man. Midday Madness in a bit mix, man. This is your boy, Big fucking Waves in the building. We back with it, Midday Madness. Y'all already know what time it is, and I want to get y'all thoughts on this shit, man. Like I really want to get everybody's thoughts on this because to me, it feels like that a lot of Panther fans came into this season with a lot of unrealistic expectations. Yo, 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 we back, we back. About to drop the link out here, man. Y'all give me 2 seconds. bro. This shit acting crazy. Drop something in the chat if y'all can hear me. We back at it. Can y'all hear me? Yo, yo. We back. Drop something in the chat if y'all can hear me, bro. Drop something in the chat if y'all can hear me. Let me know. Let me know. Fed now, appreciate the cash out, bro. Appreciate you, dog. Let me know y'all can hear me, though, man. Let me know y'all can hear me. Somebody drop something. Loud and clear, loud and clear. All right, y'all. This shit acting crazy over here on my screen is like freezing up. I don't know what the hell is going on, but my screen keeps freezing up over here. I don't know if it's my connection, whatever. All right. So where the fuck was we at, man? Oh yeah, dropping the link. Give me 2 seconds. I'm about to drop the link right in here for y'all, man. We about to go ahead and get a couple people to pull up here to the channel. I want to bring a certain Falcon fan up here, but you know, I really don't want to hear his mouth. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring this Falcon fan up here, but we gonna say that for a later day because he gonna be talking too much shit, and it's gonna piss me off. It's gonna piss me off. All right, about to drop the link. All right, the link is out. The link is out. The link is out. If anybody want to pull up to the channel, man, y'all come up here and pop y'all shit, man. I'll let y'all boys in, and I want to get everybody's perspective. Everybody perspective on what the fuck y'all feel like this version of the Carolina Panthers, what their expectations is. So, but let me get back to the whole Jaycee Horn thing too, and I want to get back to that too. Right now, Scott Fitterer, get on the call, gauge the interest of what teams will be willing to give up, especially those contending teams. Like I think all of the teams that are potential contenders this year, you know, could use a corner. Um, I really think that if I'm looking at all of the top teams in the NFL right now, everybody could use depth at corner, right? And I think that you can definitely get a third and a fourth round pick for Jaycee Horn, even as injury prone as he is. Y'all know one thing about the NFL: teams always think that they can revive people's careers, right? That's why they pay. That's why they pay big money to certain players, is because everybody think that they can revive somebody's career. That's why we brought in Sam Darnold and made all of those dumbass decisions, because they think that you can bring somebody back. So somebody go bite on that move. Somebody's going to bite on you, because listen, Jaycee Horn is still young, so he's still young, and he showed that when he's played that he can be one of the elite corners in it. His problem is he just can't stay healthy. That's his issue. That's his issue. That's his issue. That's all his issue is that he can't stay healthy. Shout out to all the people in the chat, man. Fayette Nam, what's good with it? Dylan Brown, Marco Cash, what's good with everybody, man? Y'all already know what time it is. Big fucking waves in the building, man. Hey, look. Hey, if you're new to the channel, man, you rocking with the content, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe to it. Your boy is back, man, about to be dropping more content now that we are back in season. The damn Cash App is scrolling across the screen, man. If anybody want to send any donations, bro, it's completely appreciated. Suave the Smooth Goat, man, what's good with it? What's good with it? What's good with it? Marco Cash, everybody, man, that's here. But yeah, third and fourth round pick. Let me read this Cash App. From let me read this Cash App. Great content. Appreciate you, Fayette Now. Fayette Now, as always, man, one of them loyal supporters. Appreciate you, dog. But check this out. Third and fourth round pick for Jaycee Horn. Maybe you get a third, fifth, and a sixth or something like that for him. But either way, what at minimum, I'm not taking anything less than a third round pick for Jaycee. Not taking nothing less than a third round pick, because again, when he is healthy, he is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So if a team, to me, third and the fourth, give me a third and the fourth for Jaycee. I'm pulling that trigger on him right now. For Brian Burns, it got to be 2 first-round picks. Got to be 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns. I'm not taking anything less. Brian Burns, 2 first rounds, 1 in 2024, 1 in 2025. I'm not taking anything less than that for Brian Burns. But I'm trading both. I'm trading both of them to get, you need to get draft capital back, because think about this too, and we didn't even talk about this. Guess who else is going to be eligible for a contract? You got a Jeremy Chin that's going to need to get paid. You got a Derek Brown that's going to need to get paid. I mean, those two, you got to get those two paid too. So do you really want Brian Burns' big ass salary sitting on a team that's not nowhere near being a contender right now, even though he's only 25 years old? Do you want that big ass salary sitting on there right now when you still got to pay Derek Brown, you still got to pay Jeremy Chin, and if you don't trade Jaycee, I mean, come on. Like I'm serious. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? To me, the Panthers are getting put in a situation. And then listen, the longer this Brian Burns shit drag out too, man, like you could clearly say Brian Burns is only playing because he's in hindsight it's 2020, but goddamn Parsons was right there. Nard 704, that's what I'm talking about. Michael Parsons was right there. Yeah, you agree. Again, we didn't know what Michael Parsons was going to be. Now, I don't think anybody knew that Michael Parsons was going to be as dominant as he is. But still, we'll give y'all a third and a fourth for Burns. Man, get the hell out of here. That better not be who I think it is either. That better not be who I think it is. You sound crazy. A third and a fourth round for Brian Burns. You out your damn mind. That man, 25 years old, one of the best defensive ends in the league. I'm taking 2 first-round picks. I'm not taking nothing less for Brian Burns. The Rams already set the tone. They offered 2 first-round picks. We should have traded them back then. We really should have traded them back then when we had a chance to trade them. But, you know, boy, you can go to hell for that offer. Right. That's come on, dog. He sound dumb. Matter of fact, I'm about to get his ass up out of here. We about to get him up out of here, dog. He sound crazy for saying that dumb shit. Third and the fourth for Brian Burns, you crazy. 2 first-round picks minimum. I'm not taking nothing less. I'm not taking nothing fucking less than 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns. And don't think that a team is not going to do it. They will do it. Yeah, they will do it. They will fucking do it. Panthers Central is in the building. Panthers Central. Go ahead, bro. Pop your shit, my G.
The Panthers are fucking trash, bro. Have fun supporting
Yo,
that garbage
Panthers
ass
Central.
team. You're a piece of shit. Stop streaming.
Yo, can you hear me? You there? Panthers Central. Say something. Yeah, if you hello, Panda Central, you there, bro? Yeah, he gone. We can't hear what he is. Get his ass up out of there. Listen, man, if you want to come up here, listen, I'm one of those YouTubers, man, that I try to give everybody the opportunity to come up, man, and say their piece, man, and pop their shit and get off on the channel or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But bro, go ahead with that dumb shit, bro. Like if you don't waste my time, don't goddamn come up here, bro, and not say nothing, just being a fucking troll or whatever it is that you do, because I will block your ass. I would get rid of you, and I won't give a fuck, cause I got money, bitch. No, I'm just playing. Fair now, why is that dumbass motherfucker like that be jumping on the live? Right, he's stupid as hell, bro. Whoever we trade, we throwing CJ in for free. Oh yeah, CJ Henderson. That's not. Let's talk about CJ. The first play that he comes in the game, he gives up a pass to Kyle Pitts. Was all out of position, bro. This man allowed Desmond Ridder, a man that threw for under 115 yards, throw a back shoulder bomb to Kyle Pitts. CJ Henderson, y'all, he won't even be on the roster, man, this time next year. That motherfucker be working at the local Bojangles. He gonna be working at Bojangles. So we ain't, CJ Henderson is a fucking bum. The Panthers should have went to go get Marcus Peters. They should have went to go goddamn get one of those veteran corners while they was available. They should have done it. Now you're in a situation you might have to try. Hey, relax on my QB, man. Fuck your QB, man. Desmond Ritter is bullshit. He's trash. He's trash. I feel like if y'all was playing a better team on Sunday, y'all would have lost that game. Y'all should have lost that game. There's no way in hell that the Panthers should have lost that game. That game was unorthodox as fuck through the first quarters. It was trash. It was fucking trash. CJ Henderson is a bum. But Troy Hill, man, I'm interested to see how he does because he played pretty good. I'm interested to see how Troy Hill does, man, because he played pretty solid when he was given opportunities this past week. Dog, he's one to know. Who do y'all even play this week? Who do y'all even play this week? I want to know who the Falcons play this week. Somebody tell me who the Falcons play this week. With CJ Henderson, our season is over. Terrence Tate, I think the season is over before it even got started. I don't like honestly, I don't. Oh yeah, Packers beating them. Um, and let me keep it real with everybody too, man. Like, cause I know a lot of people finna be on here. Waves, you're not a real Panthers fan and all of that shit. I don't give a fuck about anybody saying that shit. I've been hearing that shit since I goddamn been doing this YouTube shit. I am a diehard Carolina fucking Panthers fan. But the reality of it is the fucking reality. We're not ready to compete yet. We're not. We're not ready to go out there and win 8 or 9 games, 10, even 10 games like some of these motherfuckers thought. We're not ready to compete yet because this is technically year one of the rebuild. This is technically that. This is technically year one of the rebuild. A lot of people don't want to believe it. A lot of people want to sit up here and be naive and say, no, we've already been rebuilding. No, we haven't. We attempted to do a rebuild with Matt Rule. We attempted. We attempted to do a rebuild and we failed. So now this year is the true first year of a rebuild. This is the first true year. This is being a realist. Don't mean you're not a fan. Elizabeth, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you for saying that. Tell that to some of these obnoxious ass motherfuckers that be here in my comment section. Yeah, if they are rebuilt, it wasn't done right. Exactly what I'm saying, bro. It was not done correctly. So basically, what we've had to do, think about it. We've had to pretty much delete everything that was in the Matt Rule era and start from ground. We've been band-aids after band-aids. Absolutely correct, Quan. So now this is technically our baby year. This is the year where we have to, Bryce Young is going to have to learn how to win in the NFL. This is the year where even as experienced as this coaching staff may be, they still going to need some time to really mold this offense out the way that it needs to be molded. You still have a bunch of young players on the defensive side of the ball. Like seriously, Adam Thielen is, listen, DJ Shark is everything that I thought that he was going to be, and that's not healthy. You bought DJ Shark in. Adam Thielen is, man, the man is old, man. You can't expect too much from Adam Thielen at this point in his career. He's old. You can't expect this man to go out there, man, and catch for 1,000 yards. That's not his game. Mingo is going to be a developing. Mingo is developing. I think he will become the Panthers' #1 wide receiver, but it's going to take some time. He's a rookie. This is the first year in this offense. It's going to take time, man, for this shit to come together, and you don't need to rush it because we're not competing right now. You saw Miles Sanders is good. Chuba Hubbard actually looked pretty decent on Sunday, but I don't think he's the long-term backup option. Ikami Kwanu is still learning. Even this is his sophomore season. You still don't have Austin Corbett back. There's no time frame on when he's going to come back. So there's a lot of questions than answers right now for the Carolina Panthers. So to have expectations as if we're going to go out here and fucking compete and win games this year is ridiculous. I said the Panthers would only win 8 fucking games. That's all that I gave the Panthers. And after seeing Sunday, I'm willing to lower that down. I'm willing to lower that down. I'm willing to lower it down. I'm thinking more on the lines of 5 to 6 games now. I just don't think that we're ready yet, man. We're not ready yet. We're not ready to go out here and compete. The NFC South is tougher than what we thought. Hell, Baker Mayfield went on the field on the road and beat the Vikings. That shocked the fuck out of me. He actually played pretty decent. The Saints got a hell of a defense. And the Falcons, they're an improved team. They're not going anywhere, but they're improved, right? So, and plus, we always split with them every year. So no, I'm not panicking after one game. I'm not sitting up here just writing the Panthers off, but I'm also being very, very realistic about this season. I don't see the Panthers getting to double-digit wins this year. This will be, if we get to 8 wins, we've exceeded expectations. We've exceeded expectations if we get to 8 wins. Anything less than that is probably where the Panthers is probably going to end up being. And we're actually about to get into a tough stretch of our schedule. We actually got some tough games. Like this Monday night game against the Saints, even though it's at home, this is a tough game for Bryce Young. Like this is going to be a tough. He's about to go up against a good secondary, a good defense, and he's in prime time. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like you. I'm not saying that we're not, like, literally, man. Y'all got to understand that this shit is going to take some time. It's not going to pop right off. Like, for real, it's not going to pop right off. It's not going to happen. It's not going to pop right off. It's going to take some motherfucking time for this shit to come together, for this shit to get worked out. It's going to be some mistakes made by Bryce Young, and you just got to live with that. There's going to be some games, just like last week, that you really going to want to flip your shit, man. It's going to happen. So what I'm telling everybody, man, is just be prepared for that shit. That's all that I'm saying. You know, it's going to be there. Like, we don't have a corner. We don't even have a number one corner right now. Dante Jackson, a person who always stays hurt too. That's your number one corner. We're going into a game next week against Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, and those weapons that they have on the Saints offense, with Dante Jackson as our number one corner. You don't have a number one wide receiver. You're banking on a ton of potential. You're banking on a ton of potential on this with this wide receiving core. The Panthers, this is why I don't respect some of the decisions. The Panthers did a lot of right this offseason. They did a lot of good, but they also did a lot of bad, right? They didn't address 2 major spots. Number one, you were banking on the potential of DJ Shark to stay healthy when his past has showed he can't stay healthy. So you were hoping that he was going to play a full season. He was going to stay healthy. You know, he looked good in training camp. You were banking on that shit, right? You were banking that he was going to stay healthy. Already done missed week 1. Probably going to miss week 2, right? You were banking on the potential that Adam Thielen could have some juice left in the tank. Still yet to be seen. You were banking that Terrace Marshall Jr. was going to take the next step. You were banking on a rookie wide receiver coming in and having a Justin Jefferson rookie type year. This was stuff that you were all hoping to happen. You did not go and get a for sure weapon on the offensive side of the ball for Bryce Young. You had a chance to try to get a DeAndre Hopkins. Every team that had a young quarterback, when they came in, they went to go get a weapon for their quarterback. When Tua Tagovailoa got drafted by the Miami Dolphins, what did they do? They traded for Tyreek Hill. They drafted a Jalen Waddle in the first round. When the Bengals drafted Joe Burrow, what did they do? They drafted a Jamar Chase with the top 10 pick. They brought in a T. Higgins. When when Josh Allen went to Buffalo, what did they do? They traded for Stephon Diggs. You need a for sure number one weapon on the offensive side of the ball, and the Panthers don't have that. They don't. That when you get into them third and long situations, like we stayed in on Sunday, we stayed in third and long situations. Nobody could get fucking open. Bryce Young actually had time to throw the ball, but nobody could get fucking open. Nobody could get separation. Everybody stayed covered. And then I blame the shit on the play calling too. Because why the fuck you didn't go to the play action? We was actually running the ball pretty good. So why didn't you get Bryce on the move with play action and get Hayden Hurst out there in space? Bryce Young is the most deadly when he has to be a creator on offense. That's when he's the most deadly. You got to get Bryce Young in situations where he's rolling out. Not scrambling, but he's rolling out. You got to get him on the move. That's when he's the most dangerous. So that's why Frank Wright, just like he said about that fucking play call where when we got the delay of game call, that shit was on Frank Wright. I don't even think Frank Wright should be calling the plays. Let Thomas Brown just run the offense, Frank. You just be a head coach. That's all you got to do. Don't let somebody else call the plays. You can put the play calling was very generic. It looked like the same shit that was in the fucking preseason. The play calling was generic as fuck. It was super vanilla. It was super basic. I didn't see any creativity. Laviska Shenault is a chess piece. Like seriously, why didn't you get Laviska Shenault involved more in the game? You clearly couldn't throw the ball down the field. So why the fuck you not using what you got? You could have gave Laviska Shenault some wildcat shit. You could have had him on reverses. You could have had him with more wide receiver screens. Again, I just don't know. This shit is going to take time. It's not a complete project yet. You make me wonder, is Rex still putting players in the best position to win like preseason? Bruh, Elizabeth, it's only one game, so I'm not ready to write it off yet. But if I see that same bullshit ass play calling that I saw on Monday, if I see that same bullshit that I saw this past Sunday, this upcoming Monday, y'all, we in trouble. Shout out Jerome Casho. Jerome, what's good with you, babe? I'm telling you, we are in fucking trouble if that offense we saw out there this past week is the offense that's going to be out there on the field against New Orleans in the bright lights. And I'm going to tell you something too, guys. If we lose Monday night, grab your motherfucking beers. It's going to be a long season. To go down 0-2 in the division through the first 2 weeks, this is going to be a long motherfucking season, guys. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because it don't get no easier for Carolina over the next couple of weeks. So if you go down 0-2, guys, I don't know. I really don't know, man. This shit could spiral out of control quick. It could get ugly quick if we start the season 0-2. I'm not even gonna lie to you. We need to win that game at home on Sunday. It's gonna be a tough matchup. Bright lights Monday night. The whole world is gonna be watching. It's a lot of pressure for Bryce Young. I want to see how this coaching staff responds and put Bryce Young in better situations to make it easier for him. Go to the play action. Like, go to the fucking play action. Give him some easier targets. Get him on the move. Allow him to make throws on the run. Find him some easier fucking targets. And for God's sakes, go get him a fucking weapon. Trade for somebody. Go trade for Gabe Davis in Buffalo. Go trade for Gabe Davis right now. He can be a number one. T. Higgins. Go get T. Higgins. T. Higgins right now. They already said that Cincinnati is allowing T. Higgins to walk at the end of this season. Big fucking waves in the building. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Midday Madness is back. We got my boy Wally in the building. We about to pull Wally up here. Listen, go and get T. Higgins. You don't have a weapon on offense. You don't have a number one weapon on offense. Ty, remember we need to win, period. We do not have a first round pick next year. If we suck, Chicago may have a top 10 pick. Exactly, bro. But they might not be in the market for a defensive end either because they picked up Yannick Ngakoue. And we could have got Yannick Ngakoue. Yannick was out there for us to get all season to pair him up with Brian Burns. He played for Frank Wright before. Why didn't you make a move, man?
All right, Waves.
Wally, go ahead, man. Wally in the building. Wally, it's good to talk to you, brother. It's been a long time,
Hey,
man. Panthers is in the building.
hey, brother. Hey, I didn't want Mr. Guakwe, man, because he couldn't stop the run, bro. He can. That's why I like Mr. Houston because at least Houston can stop the run. He's not as fast, but he can stop the run, and he's pretty good at pass rushing. And he can mentor our second round, our third round pick, DJ Johnson. They're the same body type, so I look at it like that. And think about it like this: Houston is also the same guy that talked to Burns, gave him some sound advice, and we got Burns playing the whole season. That alone, I think, is worth it. What you say?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Wally. I think that you trade Brian Burns. I really do. Wally. And listen, and I'm gonna tell you why, man. I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm about to bring Uncle Quan up here. Shout out to Uncle Quan, man. Y'all already know what time it is. Um, I'm gonna tell you why I think that we should trade Brian Burns. First of all, the amount of money that he wants is reported on the same lines of what Nick Bosa just got for San Francisco, right? Nick Bosa got 175 million with 116 guaranteed. Now, Brian Burns does not have the sack numbers as Nick Bosa, but what he does have is more than Nick Bosa is pressures and tackles for loss. So that alone is enough to get this man paid big money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he's going to want a contract on the lines of 27 to 28 million per year, and you got to keep in mind, Jeremy Chin is up for a contract. He's going to be up for a contract next year. You got to remember, Derek Brown is going to be eligible for a contract next year, and you got to figure out what you're going to do with Jaycee Horn. So for a team that's not going to be in contentions of the postseason this year or next, because I don't feel like the Panthers are going to be in contention this year or next. I feel like this is the real first year of a rebuild. Why would you have such a massive salary? And also keep in mind, you don't have a first round pick next year. You gave up a lot of capital to move up to get Bryce Young. We need to try to recruit some of that back. JC
Oh,
Horn, I don't even want anybody talking to me about JC Horn anymore. To me, he's finished. He's finished, bro. He's finished.
okay. All right.
So go
Okay.
ahead, Wally.
I hear you. So, Brian Burns. The problem with that statement, I think, is this: since he's been drafted, he's the only. I'm not gonna say only. I think there's two defensive ends slash outside linebackers that have produced on his. No, they ain't but him that produced on his level in the last 4 years. So that means we went 4 years of all these guys coming out, and we hit. Other teams drafted above us, and those guys that hit and below us. And they drafted first round draft picks. Some of those guys, second overall picks in the drafts after that. So I'm saying is we got a guy. It's 2 years from now, he's what, 26? Still in his
27.
prime.
Yeah.
Well, 27. He's still in his prime, man. And it's time to win. And it's time to win then because Bryce is still on his rookie contract. And it'll be time to hit it right there. We got 2 years to hit it, and we're gonna get it. That's the opportunity to get it before he signed that big money. Now, regarding JC, you're right. JC, I think, is injury prone, unfortunately. And then 10, I don't think we're gonna sign Chin back, man. Unless he come out and do something. I'm a Chin fan. Unless he comes out and do something, I don't think we're gonna sign him back, man.
Yo, what's
Yeah,
good, Waves? What's good,
yeah,
fellas?
yeah. We got Uncle Quan in the building. Uncle
What's
What's
Quan,
up,
good,
what's
man?
good
Quan?
with it, man? Hey, before we even get
Hey,
started, bro, I just want to
Waves.
tell you, bro, how proud
Yeah,
I
can you
am.
hear me?
Can you hear me, Uncle Quan?
Man, hey, I
Yeah, I
respect
got
the
you. I
hell out
got
you,
you.
man. Always have, man. But you keep it a band with the fans, and that's the thing I respect the most. Now, one thing I done learned as being a content creator, these Panthers fans, I love my Panthers, I do, but our fan base is very, very delusional, man. I even went into the week.
They-
I went into the week and I told everybody, like, look, man, I know everybody excited. I know we got a new roster, we got the new coaching staff, everybody, everybody hyped. But I'm like, yo, this is the first time we seeing all these pieces together. So we got a rookie quarterback and everybody expecting immediate success. Now everybody pissed off because we had a rookie quarterback have rookie struggles. You know what I mean? It's unrealistic, man. I told y'all don't have your expectations too high. Like we're gonna have some growing pains, we're gonna lose some games, we're gonna have some mistakes, but it's gonna be all right, man. We gotta let this thing develop. And like you've been saying, man, we need some weapons. We need some weapons. We got washed up receivers that's injury prone and stuff, man. Nobody is gonna take off the top, nobody getting separation. This
right.
team is gonna have to develop, man. We just need pieces and we need development. So yeah, man, it's just been crazy, man. It's been a crazy week one. A lot of people done flipped on the team and shit, man. A lot of people calling Bryce a bust and saying
Say
Right,
he
that
ain't got
right.
again.
back
Say
in
that
him and shit. I'm
again.
like, God damn, boy, like let him
Yeah,
get
and
let that man develop, man.
it's super unfair to blame anything that happened on Sunday on Bryce Young. He made some bad, passes, that was forced there. Yeah, but that's stuff that he's got to learn, right? Like he gotta
Exactly.
learn the
Exactly.
speed of the NFL. That stuff that he was able to get away with in college. You can't get away with those kind of throws and throwing in them windows because the safeties and corners are a lot faster and react a lot faster at this level, right? And
Exactly. Exactly.
so to anybody that's saying that Bryce Young is a buzz, that's completely ridiculous. I honestly don't think the coaching staff put him in the best position to have success on Sunday. Where was the play action game at on Sunday?
You
We
know
was
what?
running the ball effectively. So the
Right.
play action game would have worked like a bitch on Sunday.
And the whole time I was waiting on them to roll him out the pocket off of play action, man. Like we was like you said, bro, that run game was getting going. So I was expecting them to at least, what I'm saying, play action, get Bryce rolling out the pocket, get him comfortable, find Hayden Hurst or somebody who can come across the middle. So I don't know, man. That play calling, it was some good things about it, but it was also some questionable things too, man.
Yeah, so let me ask y'all fellas this question now, and Uncle Quan, I want to get your opinion on this. How do you feel about
Okay.
the whole Brian Burns thing? I don't know if you guys caught his interview after the game.
Mm,
I want to give my respect to Brian Burns because he's playing despite not being paid, right? And I
yeah.
think that that's very respectable of him. And he showed y'all in the game what he is. That man had 2 sacks and a forced fumble in the first week. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So how do you think we should approach this situation, man? And I'm on the lines of trading him because of the salary demands. What is your perspective, man, on how we should be handling Brian Burns?
If I'm being quite honest with you, man, I think Brian Burns is very important to this defense, to this team. So I think we should pay him. But my only issue with paying him, he's probably asking for too much. I think Brian Burns is worth anywhere around maybe like 22 to 25 million a year. But I don't know what he's asking for. But I will go ahead and pay him. But I can see your point too. So that one's gonna be tricky, man. That one's tricky. I say pay the man. I say pay him.
Yeah, and I was leaning on and Wiley, you can jump in here next, man. I was leaning on paying him, man, but when I've seen how long this contract dispute has happened with him, and when you think about it, we really don't have any other big salaries on the book. Like think about it, like literally, there's no big, huge salaries that the Panthers have on the books right now. I don't understand why a deal hasn't gotten done yet. With Brian Burns, especially they
Right.
allowed this to linger into the season. I don't understand that. Right? You had all off season and really last year, you knew this contract was coming. How is it that you didn't happen? And honestly, with Bosa getting the deal, I think the longer you wait to get him paid, the more money he's going to demand. Because bro, the man went crazy in week 1. He got 2 sacks and a
Yeah,
strip
he
force
did, man.
fumble in the
Yeah, he
first
did.
game.
Hello, hello,
So the
hello.
longer you wait to get him paid, the number's just going to continue to go up. Because I think he's going to have a Hall of Fame fucking season this year because he got a chip on his shoulder. He really does. Like he
Hey,
has something to prove, and you could see it in his eyes when he was out there playing against the Falcons. That man has something to prove.
hey, Waves. Hey, remember what I said a few minutes ago, bro? It's hard to find a Brian Burns. If we don't pay the guy, what we gonna do? We ain't got no draft picks in the near future to get something similar to him, and I think we need to use that draft pick on a weapon. I think that draft pick need to be either a number one receiver
Got
or
to.
offensive lineman. I would say next year should be an offensive lineman. And I know we want to go flashy, but I think the receiver need to come the following year for this reason. I want Bryce to definitely be there the third season. So we need to make sure we have an excellent offensive line and we're not paying those guys because some of those guys got to leave. Like Moulton's got to leave. We ain't gonna have that money for him. We need to get that backup there so that way that line is set at least for the first couple years of Bryce's big deal. So we have at least a 5 year, 6 year run.
I
My
hear
only
I hear where you're coming from, man. But my only thing about that, the offensive line is at least based on week 1. What I saw in week 1, the offensive line is the least of my worries on the offense. They
I
did a hell
agree.
of a
I
job
agree.
protecting Bryce, man. And
They did.
even the times when Bryce got sacked, he was holding the ball. So I don't know. I think our next priority need to be that receiver, man. We need a
It it
receiver
it
bad.
it,
We need
it,
a,
it
a, a receiver.
and if it's not a receiver, it's a corner. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Exactly,
like
Oh,
exactly.
if you
okay. Okay, yeah,
yeah,
corner. Okay, all right.
yeah, like if you don't because listen, the J.C. Horn experiment, guys, is done. Like I'm not I don't
Yeah,
want to see
it's
I don't want to
cooked.
see
It's cooked.
I don't want to see any more. I've already seen enough to back up what I'm claiming is that it's super unfortunate, and I want to say that I feel for that kid, bro. I feel for him, man. I like J.C. Horn a lot, man. I met him in person. He's a stand up guy, but in the NFL, bro, you only as good as much as you are available. And with him missing, I'm gonna go ahead and say he's probably gonna miss the first 3 weeks, hands down. He's gonna miss the first 3 weeks of this season. And with that, man, and what we invested to bring him in, a top 10 pick, we're not getting the return on investment on him. So my thing is you don't have a number one corner right now. You don't have that because Jason Horn was supposed to be it, but he's not staying healthy. You don't have a number one corner right now, and you don't have a number one wide receiver. Those are two of the worst problems you can have in a new regime, right? Because what I saw in the game on Sunday from the offensive side, Wiley, was that the offensive line was giving Bryce Young time to throw the ball. He just didn't have anywhere to go with the fucking ball. Nobody was getting open. Nobody was getting separation. Nobody was beating their man off the ball. And the ones that were doing it, like Hayden Hurst, they were check downs or passes over the middle behind the linebackers. But outside of that, nobody else was getting open. I think that there are going to be a lot of free agent wide receivers at the end of the season. T.
Mm-hmm.
Higgins being one of those free agent wide
That.
receivers.
Yep.
Uh, you're going to have a bunch of those. I think that Carolina is going to have to stop being cheap, and you're going to have to go get you a number one guy for Bryce Young. You're going to have to. And I think the reason why I don't think that you draft this guy, only way that you draft a wide receiver is if you have a real chance of getting Marvin Harrison Jr. in the top 5, which the Panthers don't even have a
Yes,
first round
sir.
pick.
There you go.
So with them not even having a first round pick, we can't even say the Panthers can take a wide receiver in the first round till we get a first round pick back.
Which is
So
the following year.
to me, I think the Panthers are going to have to go and spend in free agency and go and get a number one wide receiver. And T. Higgins is definitely a number one wide receiver. He will be a number one wide receiver on a lot of teams in the NFL right now. He's just playing behind Jamar Chase. That's the reason why he's not considered a number one receiver. But if T. Higgins was available this offseason, I think you got to go pay that man. Like seriously, you got to
Hell
go pay
yeah.
that man
Hey,
because
you
you
said it
you
best. He's a number one, man. He's a number one easily.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
because Mingo is going to get there. Mingo has showed me flashes, and I feel like he's going to get there. but he's not there yet. And the Panthers do not have anybody in that wide receiving room right now. DJ Shark, it's a reason why we signed him to a 1-year deal, bro. That man cannot stay healthy. I don't know what his problem is. He cannot stay healthy. He's an injury bust. That's what he is. DJ Shark is probably going to, man, I'm going to be honest with you. We probably only go see that man on the field maybe 5 to 6 times this year. Like, and again, that's not me
Right.
wishing injury on him, Quan. I'm not wishing injury on nobody. But you are what your record says that you are,
Yeah.
bro.
Ooh, you
Yeah, his
killing them.
whole injury report showed us exactly what he is, man.
Yeah.
Just like you said, and it was the same thing with Horn going into the year, which I'm
Right.
surprised we didn't address the cornerback situation. We had some corners sitting right there at that third pick. Instead, we went and got DJ Johnson. So I don't know, man. We should have got some corner depth addressed this off season, especially with Jaycee Horn and Dante Jackson having the injury history that they have. We should have been
Exactly.
addressed that.
And you drafted some young guys, right? But they're not ready yet, right? Like Robinson is not ready yet, man. Like Eric Rowe, we'll see what he can be, but in honesty, man, you spent a lot of money in the safety room with Von Bell and Xavier Woods and stuff back there. It's a lot of money tied up in that safety room right now. But you really needed a corner. You don't have a number one corner right now because your number one can't stay healthy. And that's a problem, man. Like we're not a team where we generate so much pass rush that the corners don't have to be great. That's not the kind of team that we are. Like all of our pass rush, if you saw on Sunday in this new 3-4 scheme with Ejiro, all you saw was Frankie Louvu being blitzed if Brian Burns didn't get home. Brian Burns, he disappeared in the second half. We were not able to get any kind of penetration outside of that.
You see what the coach
Yeah,
said from Atlanta?
they
He
had
said
adjusted
they
to him. Yeah, they had to
there you
adjust to
go.
that,
They
man.
had to adjust the whole line to Browns.
Yeah,
Right.
So
That's all they had to do because there was nobody else that was a threat. So
right.
if Brian Burns gets double teamed, you don't have pass rush. You don't have anybody that's capable of getting to the quarterback to cause problems
Yeah.
off the edge. The
And
reason
that
why,
concerns me, man. That
yeah,
concerns me going into Monday, especially going against Derek Carr. They watching film. We don't already put that on tape. If you take
of
Burns
course.
out, there's no pass rush. So that got me a little nervous, man.
And then on top of this, you can't stop the run. Like for y'all
Nope.
tell me this, Wiley and Quan, tell me this, fellas. Why is it that stopping the run has been the Panthers' problem on defense for the last 3 to
For
4
years. For
years?
years.
yeah.
Why is it that we cannot stop the run at all, bro? They was
Uh,
gashing
Gotta be
us,
the
bro.
no,
personnel. It
no,
gotta be the
no. I ain't
personnel,
agree with
man.
that. I ain't agree with that. They
Gotta
only
be.
had three good runs, bro. You take the three where they gashed us those three times. You take that away, they got like 73 yards, bro.
But I'm saying both uh Tyler Algier had 75 yards rushing
Yep.
and Bijan Robinson had 54 yards rushing.
Yeah, but
So
he only had
combined together, they had over 100 yards rushing.
they had 130. But remember, one of the plays for 27 yards, I think it was. 27 yards. The one for 11, it is what it is. But the 27-yard one, that one right there, that was ridiculous, man. That don't happen that often. And then there was another play with who was that? Algier. He ran for
Yeah.
12 yards. You take those away,
A lot of
those are
missed tackles
gashes.
too, man.
Those are gashes, man. Those weren't like they were just running up the middle and no, those are gashes. I accept that. Cause look, okay, let's flip it around. You think we got 140, 154 yards in that game? Are we such a great running team, or was it the first game of the season?
Man, I don't know. I really don't know. But to me, I feel like okay. So let me answer that question, Wiley, in two parts. So is it don't matter what it looked like, you still gave up over 130 yards on the ground. Doesn't matter what it looked like, right? Doesn't matter if it was a 20-yard break or a 30-yard break. You still gave up over 130 yards on the ground. That's
I
not good
agree.
against anybody,
I
right?
agree.
So yeah, it was a couple big plays here and there, and the defense made some stops, but still, you couldn't stop the run. And then the tackling was poor as well, right? Like when Bijan scored on that screen, bro, he was hit. You got to make that tackle. You get what I'm saying?
Three
Like
times, Wave.
yeah, he was hit
Three
like two or
times.
three times, and he still broke to two or three tackles and
Mm-hmm.
got in the
Yeah,
end zone.
true
Now,
statement. True
I'm gonna
statement.
be honest with you. Bijan Robinson is going to give us problems for years.
Oh yeah,
I'm a
he gonna be a fucking headache, man. He gonna be a
this
headache.
motherfucker's going to give us problems for a long time, and I want to say that the Falcons drafting him at number 5 or 7 or whatever they took him at. That was a great investment
Hmm.
because Bijan Robinson is a fucking dog. He really is.
Exactly.
He's a dog. I want to say that and give props to him because that man is a fucking dog. Tyler Algier. That's why I said the Falcons got a good run game. They're going to be able to run the ball on a lot of teams this year. But the point to what I'm making about the defense was okay, passing wise, they couldn't pass the ball. Desmond Ritter only threw for 115 yards. That's all that he did, and I don't even think he had a passing touchdown. You know,
No.
well, they might have counted the screen to Bijan Robinson as a passing touchdown, but really the secondary played. They really couldn't pass the ball. But on the one pass that they got off on us was the Kyle Pitts back shoulder throw that C.J. Henderson was in coverage on that, and he was completely out of fucking position, like on that pass. It was
Okay.
two. It was two men on Kyle Pitts, and he still was able to break back on a back shoulder pass and make that catch. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that shit pissed me
Uh,
off, and it was a penalty
That
on
was
top of that.
ridiculous.
yeah, but it should have been a penalty though.
I mean, should have been in a
Come on.
penalty. I mean, when I
Cause the,
looked at it, did it look like he pushed off a little bit? But yeah, but
yeah.
that's stuff that you go. I
He
mean,
still,
but
no, he
bruh,
still bullied us, bro. He bullied us.
Yeah,
yeah,
but
Like
it
he
that
shouldn't
was a
have.
big bully
ass too.
move.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
it's what I'm trying to say. If he caught the ball, he caught it. But I don't think it should have been a penalty though. If you're gonna do that and you're gonna allow them to play ball, then it shouldn't have been a penalty. I thought the penalty was bullshit myself.
Yeah, the penalty was definitely suspect. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you there, but the coverage was bad. That's what I'm saying because both of those guys were out of position. It was two. I think I don't know if it was Von Bell and C.J. Henderson that was in the area, but both of those
Mm.
boys were out of position on that. How do you allow this man to break out of a double coverage and make a catch like that on a back
Yeah, but
shoulder pass deep
yeah,
down the
see,
field?
it was underthrown. That's what it was. CJ don't do what CJ does. What CJ does. He never turns his head around. If he turned his head around, it's interception. This dude, I don't get it. Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm over CJ, bro. I tried to give him a chance this year, man, but
Nah,
it,
Quan,
I'm
you
over
remember what
that
I
shit,
told
man.
y'all about CJ and
Yeah.
Wiley? You remember what I told y'all about him? He's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
Yeah.
said it,
You
bro.
said
I've
it.
said it
he is
all
who
off
he is,
season. I
man.
said that
He is
you
who he is.
cannot rely on CJ Henderson. He doesn't have it. He just doesn't
Right.
have it, man. And listen, and to me, we're going into Sunday with him going to get some starting reps. See, I mean, it's Monday he's going to be on the
Hey,
field,
I'm nervous, bro. We got Olave over there. Thomas looked good in week 1, so I'm nervous, bro.
and you
I
can't
ain't
even
even gonna
forget
hold
about
you.
their tight end Johnson. He's coming
Exactly.
up. So again, guys, I just this 3-4 is even going to take time for them to mesh. Like honestly, I can honestly tell it's going to take a little bit for us to get the true personnel in for us to be able to execute this 3-4 defense the way we need to execute it. Because like on the defense side of the ball, like we made some big plays, but I still feel like the Falcons was controlling the tempo, especially in the second half. They were controlling the tempo on offense against the defense. They really were. And I feel like against a better team, the Falcons should have lost that damn game. They didn't even do anything special. Like
Exactly.
all they scored off of was the turnovers.
Turnovers. Yep. They just
All they
capitalized on our
scored was on the
turnovers. That's it.
turnovers. They scored 17 points off of our turnovers. Like that's all they did. They couldn't really do anything on offense, but that's what worries me about this year's version of the Carolina Panthers. Like for real, that's what is worrying me about this year, the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if our defense is going to be good enough to keep us in ball games, and I don't know if our offense is going to be able to score enough points for us to win ball games. I just don't know. So that's why I'm telling Panther
Yeah.
Nation, be very, very realistic about this season. Even if we pull off a win on Monday, which I'm not going to do my game predictions until later on this week. I'm really not. I'm not going to do those till probably about Thursday or Friday. But I it just it doesn't look good yet. It's only been one game. I'm going to watch and give these boys a fair opportunity, but if that play calling doesn't change, Quan and Wiley, if that play calling doesn't change, if they don't make it easier for Bryce Young is going to lead the league in interceptions this year. And if they don't get him a weapon
Mm-hmm.
that's capable of beating coverage, he's not going to have nobody to throw the ball to. You don't have any speed at wide receiver right now.
Well, I went.
Demir Bird is hurt.
No,
You
it
let
ain't
Sean
that.
Smith go. So
You
where's the
got the guy.
speed coming from?
You got the
Chark
guy we
hurt
signed.
too.
We signed the
Hmm.
guy from Kansas City. They gotta let him play. They gotta let him play.
Oh yeah, what is his
He also
name?
got to get
It's
acclimated into this offense too, man. He's
you.
still
You're
fresh,
right.
so it's gonna take him some time to get used to the playbook and all that. But I don't know,
That
man.
he,
It's gonna take time, bro. Overall, all this shit gonna take time, man.
It
yeah, but
is.
This might not be our year. It might
a
not be.
go route though. Come on, Quan. A go route. Come on.
Yeah,
The go route, the opening up the middle of the field. Come on,
yeah. That's
man.
what we missing. We missing that,
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
know
man.
don't
what I'm
have
saying.
that.
Yeah,
They all if that's all they had him doing was doing that, it opened up the field. It's like they you don't have the time to be perfect. So you need to take the tools you got and use them effectively. Instead of saying, well, he don't know the whole play. It doesn't matter. Have him run one route. And if you get lucky, somebody's slacking, hit him on a go route. If not, he opened up the field. That's all. Maybe I'm just
Yeah.
making it too
yeah.
simple,
I see
but
what you. Yeah, I see what you're saying, man. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying on that. Just use them for the goal, man. But I understand that. But I still think that it's more than that too, man. You got to
Yeah,
find a ways to use the weapons that you have. Like I'm not the biggest fan of LaVisca, but I feel like in order to help Bryce Young out a lot, I think you got to use him a lot more. Like I think he needs to be more
I
involved
agree.
in with some handoffs, some jet sweeps, with some reverses. Like you got to find a way to get him more involved, man, to make life easier for Bryce Young. Like one thing that we can't get into on offense is third and long situations. Like we can't get into those, man, because we don't have like the personnel where guys can really just get open on those third and long situations. We can't put Bryce in a ton of those situations, right? So this Monday, what I'm going to be looking for is how this coaching staff, I want to see a lot more play action Bryce Young rolling out of the pocket. I want to see more of that. Listen, he is short. I'm not saying that the shortness is going to impact his game, but the reality of it is he's small. So just like in college, Sam, Nick Saban, that offense that they were using, if you look, Bryce Young rolled out a ton when he was making throws on the run. He's actually one of the best passers while throwing on the run. I think that you have to go off game script with Bryce Young, get him on the move. That doesn't mean that he's scrambling around. No, find plays, preferably using the play action. Start the game, establish the run game with Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard, and then you got to start hitting teams with this play action, man. I
Exactly.
was so
Exactly.
I was so disappointed that they didn't go to it at all in this game. That they didn't try to do it at all to find Hayden Hurst, and also that's going to get Hayden Hurst a lot more open. Find ways to get him more open and get him involved. Hayden Hurst showed that he's ready for the a heavy load of targets. He's ready for that, right? Because he can find the spots in the soft zone coverages. You got to get Bryce Young on the move, get him out there on the pocket where he can make. I wanted to see way more RPO than we used in that game. We didn't even use a ton of RPO in that game. It was a lot of basic pistol formations, single back formations. That shit is not gonna get it done, man. So I want to see to me, what I'm going to be looking for on Monday is how this coaching staff responds to what's going to happen out there for this game plan for the New Orleans Saints.
I couldn't agree more ways, especially with the RPO game. Bryce killed it in the RPO game at Alabama. I think that'll be a lot easier for him adjusting to the NFL. Like, give this man some options if he gonna pull it and throw it, or if he gonna hand it off. Like, I think that's his game right there. Run some RPO and let this man flush out the pocket. Like, roll him out the pocket, let him extend the play, especially with our receivers struggling to get separation. Let him extend the play. Let him run around the pocket. Let our receivers get open because
Yeah,
they can only cover
there
but
you
for
go.
so long
There
these
you go.
days. You
exactly.
know what I
That's
mean?
that's the only way we're gonna have success with this cast.
Hey,
Exactly.
Like
didn't it look like
Exactly.
hey, didn't it look like he was uncomfortable? I think what they told him, they're not letting him play free, from my perspective. He
they're
just
not.
looked like he was like
Yeah.
somebody put some handcuffs on him and told him go out here, make sure you don't make a mistake. Dude, I'm like, what the hell? Let the guy play. He made mistakes.
Right.
Peyton Manning made a lot of bad mistakes his
Yeah, he
rookie year.
did. He did.
But guess what? He's considered what, top five all time.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's what I'm
Facts.
saying. You got to let the guy play. You chose him, let him play.
Yeah, they
Yeah, break
definitely
them
need
loose,
to.
man.
Yeah, they definitely need to get him on the move a lot more. I think that that's his game. Like, yes, he can sit back there from the pocket, but like you got to understand when he was throwing from the pocket at Alabama, look at the wide receivers he was throwing to. He was throwing to elite wide receivers when he was at
Facts.
Alabama. Like he was you could he could drop back in the pocket because Smith was going to get open and Henry Ruggs and all of those guys that they had, Waddle,
And
all of those guys
Mechie
were
and
going to
Williams. Yep.
yeah, those guys, Mechie and Williams, those guys were going to get open because they were elite wide receivers. The Panthers don't have that. They don't have guys that can just get open when you need to get them open. They're not there yet. I think Mingo will develop into that. Terrace Marshall Jr. I need to see the rest of this season of how it goes for him, but I'm almost ready to write him off as well. I'm almost there. And y'all know I'm a big LSU fan. I love Terrace Marshall Jr. But if I don't see his production and his consistency improve throughout the season, I'm almost ready to write TMJ off as well. Right? Like I really am. I'm almost there for that. Um, but I just think that you have to find a way to get Bryce on the move and get him some easier throws and completions. Like, is he going to light up the scoreboard for 300, 400 yards? No, we probably not going to see that. But if he can be efficient and move the ball, I think the play action game is the best way to go with Bryce Young for right now with the staff that we have, like with his weapons. Like you gotta get that play action going, man. Have him on some design bootleg runs. I would have him on. I would have Bryce Young. Honestly, this whole offense would be RPO offense. This would be an RPO offense. Have him make the decision on is he going to hand it off? Is he going to take it and make quick throws across the middle? That trying to throw the ball downfield, you don't have anybody to throw the ball downfield to. Who you gonna throw the ball downfield to? You don't have anybody. So again, I just don't
Hmm.
know, fellas, man. Um,
Exactly,
but
man. Hey, Waves, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to work, man. I appreciate you having
yeah,
me on the show. I'm gonna still
I
listen,
appreciate
man.
you for coming on, man. We probably finna
Oh
shut it
yeah.
down here in about the next
Yeah.
10 minutes, man. But again, everybody, I'm gonna leave off on these final words. Appreciate you, Uncle Kwame. Y'all make sure to go and like and
Oh
subscribe
yeah,
to
no
his
doubt,
channel
man.
right now. Go
Yes,
and like and
sir. Yes,
subscribe. My
sir.
boy been over there running it up. He been balling all season, man. Nothing but respect and love for that guy, man. Appreciate you for blessing the channel, brother, man. Have a good day.
Hey, likewise, man. All right, have a good one.
All right. Um. So final word, guys. Um. Trade Jaycee Horn. Get him off the books. Get him gone. I think you have a real decision to make with Brian Burns. You know, I think that there's a real decision that you have to make with Brian Burns. I think that you can pay him. I wouldn't be mad if we did pay him, but I also could see the benefits of trading him as well. And I think for this coaching staff, if you start the season, let's say the season is 0-3. Let's say we get off to a 0-3 or even a potentially 0-4 start. You're really going to have to start thinking about making decisions for the future. Like if we get to at Wiley, if we get to a 0-3 and
Yep.
0-4 start,
Hmm.
I think you're really going to start have to making decisions for the future.
Well, I think you got to do that anyway. Uh, but I think it's pretty much baked in what we need to do next year, and I don't think we're really going to win anything to the following year. Anything of any significance. So I think this is the opportunity to learn what your team is made of. Try to put your quarterback in the best situation to develop him and develop your younger talent, and then figure out which one of these guys are going to take Taylor Moton's place. The reason why I keep talking about Taylor Moton, I think he got like 2 more years on his contract, and it's time to replace him. But we need to develop the guy. I think Ricky Lee is the guy they're trying to develop, if I'm correct,
Yeah.
behind him. But he needs to come along, so that way we know for sure our offensive line is settled, and We have some rotational pieces, and lastly, that first game was just a first game, man.
Yeah, it was.
Atlanta, I don't think the likelihood of us losing three or four turn. I mean, we threw two interceptions and we fumbled the ball. We fumbled the ball twice, but we recovered once. They fumbled the ball or lost the ball three times and recovered all three times. What's the likelihood of that? Come
Right.
on, man. And it the defense I think is fine. And the defensive line I don't have any worries. It's just like Burns says, he got to figure out how to deal with the fact that they scheming against him. And they rotated him around, so it had some effect. And you saw what they did with Luvu, right? They had
Yeah.
Luvu on the line too.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did have Frankie Louisville down there on the line, and he was able to generate some pressure.
That's what I'm saying. So I I want to see more of the defense before we say what we can sign or not. And I think we'll
Yeah.
get a better glimpse around week four, and then we'll know for sure. By then, we maybe could be 0-4 or 3-1, three
Right.
and one or whatever. But we'll know then. And if it's a bad season, call it and preserve your draft position.
Exactly. There you go. That's what that's my mindset, guys. So I know it's week one, but again, if 0-1 turns into 0-4 really quick, I think that it's you got to make a decision. Like you got to start making decisions. You need to just but also you can't even be mad or upset if that happens, right? Like you can't even be mad or upset if that happens because again, everybody, and this is what I'll leave off on the final word, guys. Everybody, pump their brakes, relax. This is gonna be a tough season to watch, and it's gonna be tough because of a couple of reasons. You got a rookie quarterback. He was the number one overall pick, but just like with Cam and our rookie year, well, we had a little bit more veterans on that team, but just like with Cam, there's going to be some mistakes made in the rookie year. Bryce is going to throw some interceptions. He's going to make some bad decisions, but that's all part of learning the game. And just to put perspective on it, rookie quarterbacks that have been taken number one overall in their first quarterback or even in the first round period are 4 and like 70 in the first game of the year. Like I think they're like 4 and 70 or something like that. They were saying in the first games. Like rookies, quarterbacks always lose the first game, right?
Yep.
So
Check this out. Check this out before you go, Wade. You don't want that one of those one wins. One of the one wins in the last 20 years was David Carr. You
right,
don't want Bryce to have David Carr's career.
exactly. Yeah. So I'm not worried about Bryce Young. I don't think Bryce Young is the problem, and neither do I. I don't think that that's the issue. My concerns is with the play calling. I need to see this play calling improve. I need to see these weapons improve. I need to see the defense to at least be a bend don't break type of defense. And I think that if we get to 8 wins this year, which was my offseason prediction, I think that we have exceeded all expectations if we were able to get to 8 wins. So, but that's my show for today, everybody. Man, I appreciate everybody coming in here at Midday Madness. Thank you, Wiley, for picking up, man, and coming on the show. Today is Tuesday. We probably will be live again on Thursday or Friday for another episode of Midday Madness as we make predictions for the Saints game on Monday night. As we make predictions for the Saints game on Monday night, we'll talk about matchups. We'll talk about what we're looking for. What do you guys want to see coming into this game? We'll hear the press conferences of all of the coaching staff and the players leading up for this. And it's a big game for us, right? This is one that you do not want to go down 0-2 in the division through the first 2 weeks of the season, right? So we will take a look at it and see what everything looks. But if you're new to the channel, man, if you pulled up today and you haven't subscribed, guys, hit that red button, man. I know your boy has been inconsistent over it, but listen, life has been life, and YouTube just ain't been that important right now. But since the season is going, we're gonna pick everything back up, get back in the mood, man. Y'all go hear me come over here and pop my shit for y'all, and we about to get this thing back up and rolling, man. And hey, no matter what though, win, lose, or draw, keep pounding. We not losing faith, But let's just keep the expectations real. Wiley, appreciate you, brother. I'll catch everybody
Already.
next time. Y'all have a good one.